What's up, everybody? Jackson Fuller here, and happy Sunday. It's time to continue our tradition of the StarNewsVarsity weekly rundown, and I'm doing it from my car today, kind of hustling and bustling around with some errands and other things today. I got a golf tee time at 11:15, so doing it a little different today from the comfort of my own car, but we got a lot to get into today, and for the first time, I think, in a while, we're not going to start with football, ladies and gentlemen, and that's because we have two local state champions. Huge shout out and congratulations to Coastal Christian Boys Soccer and Wilmington Christian Academy Volleyball. The Patriots, the dynasty continues. The Centurions, the first state championship in program history, and what a deserved title that is for Coach Mike Scheffel and that program. They've been building towards this moment. They've had some teams in years past reach state championships and, feel like they could win a state championship. Coach Scheffel told me coming into this season, that was the goal. They weren't gonna hide it. Their aspirations were to win a state championship, and that's exactly what Coastal Christian did. Johnny Blackburn scored the game-winning goal off a set-piece header. Assist from Sammy Santaniello, and that was in the 3rd minute of the match against Carmel Christian Saturday. And after that, it was 77 minutes of defense where Coastal Christian held strong, kept the Cougars out of the back of the net, and brought home the state title. Big congratulations to Coastal Christian, who, for the most part, really dominated Wilmington boys soccer this year here in the area. And they were a really fantastic season, ends in appropriate fashion with a state championship. Wilmington Christian Academy Volleyball, boy, did they have to work for it this weekend against Marine Baptist in the state championship Saturday. Fell down 2-0, rallied back, took the next 2 sets, and then fell down 9-3 in the final set, and they still rallied, came away with a victory. Huge games for Kat Davis, Emily Molinax, and Kyra Rickard. And for Jenny Turpak, her first year in charge, taking over for the legendary head coach Tanya Upton, and the tradition continues. Nothing stopping the Patriots this year. They are state champions once again. Huge congrats to those two teams. Also, a shout out to some local girls tennis players who had great runs in the state tournaments for singles and doubles. New Hanover's Frances Coleman and Peyton Philemon reached the final before bowing down in straight sets to a really talented duo from Charlotte Catholic. And let's see who else. Mary Davis Thompson of New Hanover fell in the quarterfinals, and so did Hoggard's doubles duo of Elizabeth Volman and Macy Morrison. New Hanover high school tennis, those girls still alive in the dual team playoffs, and they will be playing Monday in the 3rd round over at New Hanover High School against Cape Fear. Boys soccer wise this week, other than Coastal Christian, Ashley got a big win over Hoggard on Tuesday, and then they fell in penalties to New Hanover on Thursday. So the Mid-Eastern Conference race, it's pretty simple. It's more than likely going to come down to Hoggard, New Hanover, Halloween night at Legion Stadium. The winner will be the conference champion. The loser will be the runner-up. For Hoggard and Ashley purposes, the 4A top seed, if Hoggard were to lose to New Hanover, and then they would be tied with Ashley if Ashley can beat Laney on Thursday night for that top 4A seed. So there's a lot still to be determined, but the simple way to look at a conference championship, New Hanover Hoggard, Thursday night, winner takes the MEC title, just as it was last year with the season finale between those two teams, rewarding a conference champion. And that year went to penalties, so we'll be lucky if we get a close game just like that. Volleyball, other than Wilmington Christian Academy, we had the MEC tournament this past week, and Hoggard they pulled a Wilmington Christian Academy, or I guess Wilmington Christian Academy pulled a Hoggard, considering that game was later on in the week. The Vikings fell behind 2-0 to the Screaming Eagles in the championship. They lost their libero, Abby Tank, to injury. It looked like Ashley was going to cruise, and then all of a sudden, Hoggard started to click things to get things going. Martin Main Rangel was terrific all tournament, but the key to Hoggard's success is when other girls get going offensively. Girls like Olivia Britt, Ayla Johnson, Gracie Sistrunk. And when that happens and you can get kills from 4 or 5 players at a time on the court, the Hoggard offense is tough to stop, and that's exactly what happened. The Vikings won the last 3 sets in dramatic fashion. They clinched the MEC's top seed in the 4A playoffs, and we'll talk about who's left in the playoffs in a little bit. And then Topsail and Pender Volleyball both won their first round playoff games on Saturday, so congrats to those two teams still alive in the volleyball playoffs after having to play in the first round, whereas Hoggard and Ashley both got a bye. Football Friday. I was over at Hoggard High School where the Vikings took care of business against North Brunswick. The running game got going. Hoggard looks like it's starting to find a groove a little bit offensively. 1 week against Topsail, and then we got the big showdown with New Hanover to close the regular season. So the Vikings looks like they're turning a little bit of a corner. West Brunswick rolled all over Topsail. The offense played its best game of the year, definitely for the Trojans in that one. How about South Brunswick? 28-0 winners over Laney. The Cougars, man, they could have beaten Hoggard very easily this year, lost 10-9. They've beaten Ashley in the non-conference. They're going to play them again later this season in a conference game. And they lost New Hanover, but they've got a chance to go 3-2 against Wilmington 4A public high schools this season. Of course, 2 of those wins would be against Ashley, but still a huge win for Rocky Lewis and program. Congrats. Roman Dilgard threw 2 touchdowns to Miguel Miller, and Danny Parker ran in for 2 scores as well. The other Mid-Eastern Conference game this week was New Hanover-Ashley, and the Wildcats just rolled right over Ashley. I think New Hanover had 4 guys average 20 yards a run during the game. Impressive stuff. The Wildcats continue to look like the most complete team in the area, and we'll be talking about them in a little bit. And then Wallace Rose Hill lost to Clinton. Just have to mention that the Clinton Dark Horses now sit in the front seat in the race for a East Central Conference title. So let's get to this week, and there is one giant football game awaiting us Friday night. It's the biggest game of the year so far, probably in general. New Hanover hosting West Brunswick this Friday night. The winner of that game will clinch, in all likelihood, the winner of that game will clinch the top 3A seed in the Mid-Eastern Conference for the upcoming NCHSA playoffs. West Brunswick can clinch the entire Mid-Eastern Conference championship with a win. What a story that would be for the undefeated Trojans. Man, it's going to be a great game. New Hanover's high-flying offense against West Brunswick, just incredible defense. I'll be there covering it. I can't wait to get over there. Battle in the trenches is going to be key. And for New Hanover, I think West Brunswick's a little bit stronger up front. A little bit. Not too much, a little bit. But West Brunswick wants to dominate the line of scrimmage. New Hanover wants to create that maybe an even push, you could say. If they feel like they're hanging around up front, offensively and defensive line, that is great news for New Hanover. It would go a long way for the Wildcats. But whereas the Trojans want to win that battle convincingly, get to Chase Nixon, create some running lanes for DeAndre Clarida and Trey Bell, Johnny Magby, those guys. And that'll be the key for them. Hoggard will be at Topsail. The Vikings can still win an MEC Conference Championship if they can go undefeated, and they need New Hanover to beat West Brunswick on Friday night to try and force a 3-way tie for the conference title. Volleyball. We have Hoggard and Ashley, Hoggard, Ashley, Topsail, and Pender, both at all 4 at home Tuesday night in the second round. Going to be a fun night of volleyball here in the area. And as I mentioned already, with the New Hanover girls tennis and the going into the 3rd round of the playoffs, and New Hanover and Hoggard boys soccer with a huge game. So I guess I kind of covered the look ahead a little bit in my look back on the week, but it should be an exciting week, of high school sports here in the area, with a huge football game Friday and a lot of playoff volleyball games during the week, and soccer games with huge playoff implications and rivalry bragging rights up for grabs. So I appreciate you guys always for watching. I'm sorry I'm kind of a little I don't know what the word is, a little makeshift appearance here inside my car, but I appreciate you guys for watching so much as always every week. Enjoy doing these, enjoy getting your responses, and as always, Twitter at StarNewsVarsity, Facebook.com/StarNewsVarsity. Follow along all year for our high school sports coverage. Bye-bye.